So today is day 18. Now we're just out with Alex. Yeah, just out for a walk. I'm showing him my area. He lives about 10 minutes away, but I've not showed him my favourite walk.
Been up here. I've always been on the other side, on the canal.
Yeah.
Never seen this side.
There's a cool trail, so I'm just showing him that my favourite lap to walk. It's only like 800 metres a kilometre, so just walking that, and then I've got an adventure planned for this afternoon. This floor's so nice barefoot right now. So hot. Cheers, Alex. Here's a camper van.
Good trip.
Thanks, bro.
Enjoy.
I'll let you know when I'm back.
Yeah.
I'll let you know when I break my fast as well.
Yeah, after
we'll go for a hike after. Yeah.
What are you going to break it with, do you know?
Melon, watermelon.
Start with fruit.
Yeah,
easy digestible.
Yeah, just like tiny, but one slice of watermelon or something.
Yeah.
Right, and away we go. May have a blessed and protected journey. It's a glorious Friday afternoon, and I just crossed the border into Wales. Just listened to some videos on turpentine. A few of you recommended turpentine. I was wary, as anyone, as with anything at the start, and I'm doing a lot of research into it now and just piquing my interest. Just taking a wee break. Onwards we go. So in case you haven't guessed already, or it's not in the title of the video, which it most likely is, I've come to Snowdon. That is the beautiful beast over there. And this is the first time I've come to Snowdon, and no, I will not be hiking up it. Her. Here we go, just pulled into the campsite now.
That's £20, please.
Thank you very much.
And then put the tent
Cool.
on the other side.
Is the space, what's the quietest spot, like by the river?
I have no idea, I've not been past here.
No worries, thank you. Got here just before 5 o'clock on a Friday, so hopefully I get some choice. Just picking a spot now. I would like to wild camp, but I don't know enough spots around here that are peaceful enough. They're all by roads, and I can't hike too far, so. Right, we are set up. It's not the biggest inside, but it's a space to chill. Now we've got to fill it. Right, time to do some breath work. I think I might be able to relax now. And the sun is just perfectly placed right there. Coincidence that the sun is right there? I think not. So I started my fast in Derby for a day, went to London, did a week in Tenerife, and then I came back to Derby and spent a week there, so I had the sort of retreat environment. Then I came back and had the home environment facing those demons, and I really wanted to I've kept it really simplistic. It's just, you know, remove the enemas, don't brush my teeth, just distilled water so far, but I wanted to change the environments to see how that affected me. And there was moments when I was in Derby in my flat in the square, I had my window open. Yeah, I'm fairly in the countryside, but when I went for walks out into the fields, I felt so much more nourished, and the fast felt so much easier and less detoxing. So I really wanted to test towards the end of the fast is coming away and being surrounded by greenery and fresh air. So I brought myself out to Snowdon, one of my favourite places in the British countryside, where there's beautiful air, really fresh water. There's a fresh river here, and I'm actually going to test it I brought my TDS meter to test how many dissolved solids are in it, because I've tested before on Snowdon and it was like 12, so it's practically distilled, but it's fresh running water. And of course there's more than science can tell us about anything. That's, science is limited. So with running water, there's a feeling when you drink it that's more important to use our instruments sometimes than just devices, but you can use both and get a good reading. So I want to test the water here, and if it is below 50, then I'll drink that to get some fresh spring water in me. I've just been laid out on the grass for about an hour in the sun, and it felt phenomenal. And it's the first time I've actually I used to sleep on the floor on a hard surface, and it's really good for your posture and your spine and your organs to lie on a flat surface, because when you're in a soft surface, your hips can sink into the bed and drop down, your shoulders can sink, and so it can sort of misalign your organs and your circulation can get out of whack. And actually lying on the floor, especially fasted, when my body, there's no inflammation keeping me tense, my body's relaxed, I felt, and in the sun as well, I could feel so much more circulation happening, and that effect that I talked about of like a cast going over my parts of my body that are sort of inflamed, that need the healing. I could feel it active a little more powerfully as well, and that was exciting to experience. So tomorrow I'm going to do a lot more of that. I just met someone, Lewis, and his girlfriend, who said, "Oh my God, Tim Sheaf, how's the fast going? And he's still doing it." So it's cool, and I've got, I don't know if you can see, what's my view like from here? Beautiful view of the side of sort of Snowdon. It's like I fell before Snowdon, but there was an even better camp spot up by the lake, so I might have a go and try and move over to there. One of the really interesting things here is the smells. There's so much onion and meats going off, and so it's good to face that. And there's a lot of parents yelling at their children and sort of disempowering their children, and children screaming, and so it's like just absorbing it and just being around it. When I first got here, I was a bit shaken. I was like, I need to be in my own in nature with no one around me, but at the same time it's quite good to face this is everyday society. This is environments I was raised in. I went camping with my parents sometimes and felt disempowered and cried and yelled and had fun and played and splashed, and so it's like all these things, it's like remembering how I grew up. So it's good to be reminded of that as I'm dealing with healing. It seems synchronistic and like there's no coincidences with it all. So it's been quite interesting and nostalgic to be in a campsite in this environment, because I take myself out on my own a lot in the mountains, and just getting into wild camping, that's all on my own. So it's a unique experience, and it's such a beautiful campsite. So I really hope we get to have a meet up here. I'm thinking first weekend of October. Right, I'm gonna go check some water now. I'll do that, and then soon I'm gonna turn everything off and leave my electronics in the car. Last time I came here, the river was running quite a lot more. Doesn't look like it's running that much this time. I don't want to get muddy feet. I think I need to find a fresher stream, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not going to drink out of this. Okay, that'll be tomorrow's adventure. Very excited to read this tomorrow. Essene Gospel of Peace. It's been a while. Super inspiring. I'll let you know after. I think that's it for me for now. I'm going to turn off all my technology. My phone's in the car, I just turn that off. Turn off the GoPro. If I go back to the car, I'm going to put this in there as well, so I don't have it around me. But I might just be laid down now. Read a book. Last night I had quite a lot of energy. In the afternoon, evening, I felt good and I managed to pack for this. And then I lay down, I had such an amazing deep sleep, and I had a couple of weird dreams which had really old people from my life that I had emotional energy with, and they both appeared in my dream. It's complete separate, one female, one from parkour, both in my dream. Very strange. And I woke up very dehydrated, very white tongue. I think I was clearing a lot out last night, so that was interesting to note. So we'll see what we can do here. Yeah, I need to, traveling today and that, and setting up tent. Need to just rest now. So I'm going to turn this off. I'll see you in 36, 40 hours, something like that. And yeah, it'll be a blink for you on YouTube, but for me it's going to be a journey, an experience. See you after. Morning all. Just woke up. 36 hours, no electronics. Was going to do no talking, but Lewis, someone came up, was wearing a vegan t-shirt with Ethics and Antics, old school Lewis, so I had a good chat with him. I was walking through the woods and some little girl was hiding behind a rock and said hello, so I couldn't ignore her. Did about 24 hours without water. Water seems to, or dry fasting seems to really accelerate the detox, depending on how toxic you are, and it just puts me out. I can do nothing but lie down, and I lay down for hours yesterday. So eventually I drank some water so I could go for a little wander and explore, and that was cool. But I couldn't stay in the campsite another night. You could just hear too many conversations going off. People talking about how bad plastic bottles are, and then eating bacon, and talking about how you can find out how far your food's traveled, but there's no point because it's the system's fault. There's no point. It's too expensive to live that way, and all these conversations where in my head I'm like, you want to get involved. You're observing it, and the thing is, these conversations happen whether I see them or not, whether I experience them or not, or maybe they don't. Maybe the tree doesn't fall in the forest, but part of the growth is to witness this and not react to it, not get emotional to it, because this is going on in the world. My best thing, if I react to it, it lowers my energy, is to not react, keep my energy high, move on with my life, know what I know who I am, and carry that into the world, not try to change every individual person with a discussion. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's your role, maybe you can converse with these people. It doesn't work I've learned it doesn't work for me. People don't like, I don't know if it's male or what, but or my approach, which is somewhat trained from my mother, which is not. I practice to find a more peaceful approach maybe towards it. But at this stage, it's better that I don't get involved in most conversations unless there's an in. So I don't. The best thing I could do was take myself away from the environment. But the campsite, shame I couldn't show you really much of it. Pretty much the most beautiful campsite in the world. I would easily say that if someone was to check the best campsites, no one could not put that in the top 5. It is unbelievable. So Oktoberfest, I'm debating whether to just do it in July, because October could be dreary. So maybe end of July leading to August, July fast. Doesn't quite work as well, but it'd still be cool. So I might go back down and inquire about getting a field there. Let me know in the comments if that works for you. Last weekend of July, and then thinking more about it, I'm thinking if everyone does 36 to 48 hours minimum, aim for, and then only bring fruit, so we don't break it with fruit on the Saturday night, say 7 o'clock, and then we can go hike Sunday morning. We can all hike up Snowdon up different ways depending on our levels. So you'd start then Thursday or Friday morning, depending on whether you're doing 36 to 48 hours, and break it together. Or you can do longer, but of course it's all your own discretion. It's on you, not me. I'm not supervising for this. It's your choice, but it'd be a way for us to do it together. 48 hours will reset you to just want fruit. It would really help you for August as well, so it could be a good lead into that. So I might go inquire into the costing of that now. Sip some water, maybe find some spring water, and then head back. So this is Snowdon. It's Cribgoch. The other week, or a few weeks ago, I came here and did the horseshoe around here. Campsites down here. Literally one of the most beautiful campsites in the world. Promise you that. Hey there.
Are you okay?
Yeah, you? I just wanted to inquire about, can you rent fields out?
We can do group areas.
Group areas, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it would be very...
People around.
My second inquiry would be if you do a meat-free field, because the smell of the...
That's an interesting idea, man.
Because it's quite... that was the toughest part. I slept in my car last night then, because it's like... It's just everywhere. I was like, oh, like this, you know. For me, appreciation. Anyway, it's a different discussion. But I wanted a meat-free field. Could be. I mean, and
You're in the right place to be having that conversation.
Really?
The makeup of the people who work here. So yeah.
Really.
Yeah, most vegetarians everywhere. All of us.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. I mean, that's appreciation of nature for me. But it's like.
Sometimes if it's a massive group, she'll ask that they're paid in advance. If it's a smaller group, she'll let you pay them on arrival. And there are areas of the site, so down in the far corner there, near the boat hire, there's one, there's a couple through the back here.
Because it could be 50, and if we had a little field, it would be peaceful. It wouldn't be, and then we just eating fruit on a Saturday night, and then it wouldn't be the most hectic thing ever. But we'd all be chill. Cool, man. Thanks so much. Appreciate your time. Cheers, man. Meat-free field.
Meat-free field.
Yes. Tell them. Spoke to the right person there. That was wicked. But yeah, we'll see, because we could do October. The weather will just be a lot harder, but it'd be a lot easier to get the group together. But I feel like October you might want to do a more city environment. Maybe we do that in London, break the fast together in London, October fast, and then July we could just do a meetup. We don't even need to fast necessarily. We could just do a meetup here. How about we do that? I might fast anyway, but right, I'm on the road. You can actually see the summit of Snowdon right there. And I've come down here. There's a spring further up Snowdon which I checked before, who had a really low ppm, and it does eventually run into this river. Now I don't have the energy to hike up Snowdon to that spring, but I know that there's not really much runoff between here and that spring anyway. There's not really any farmland or any humans, so I've brought my devices, my water testing devices. I'm going to test this water because I would really like to drink some spring water, because I do think it is, if you get fairly clean spring water like what I found that was 12 ppm, I think that is better than distilled, and it's living, happy running water, so it looks super clean. I got some glass bottles on me, let's test it out. So this device tests pH, not that it's that important, people overrate pH, and this device tests dissolved solids, which is when you have distilled water it becomes up to zero, there's zero dissolved solids. Wow. 13 ppm, 14, came up 7 at one point. That's phenomenal. Tastes clean to me. We got fish nibbling at my feet here. People also worry about distilled being acidic. I tested some the other day that I'd left on the side, so supposedly it becomes more acidic when you leave it out because it reacts with the carbon in the air. I checked some on the side that had been left out for a day and it was 6.5, which is fair. 7 is neutral, remember. 6.5 is barely acidic, and I just checked this one and it came up about 6.7. So it's like, don't worry about acidity in water. If it's burning your tongue, then you can start to worry about acidity in water. By the way, I'm not recommending you to drink spring water or come to this river and drink the water from this river or any river. It's a personal choice. I got my glass now.